Alrighty. Let me see if I can get this going here, if it's going to cooperate this week. Alright. Get some egg pot up here.
Come out, wherever you are.
Oh, Alright, not sure if Twitch is up or not. You guys let me know either way through chat. I'm looking at, listen, they got some issues going on.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Alright, K-Dub's there. Alright, so let's see what we got going on over here. My Ankbot must not be cooperating. Hopefully everybody else can hear me. I think Ankbot's acting up. Today is not their day. Cool. Alright. We're going to get moving along here. I just want to... Great. Thanks, guys, for the feedback. I just want to make sure... for some reason my thing is... says that we're offline. So, we're going to roll with it. Twitch is... must not have paid the bill for Twitch. So, let's get rolling here. Any questions along the way? Just pop them up in chat and we'll get to them. So, this week what we're going to do is two parts. First part shouldn't take that long, and neither should the second part. So hopefully in a combo in both of them, we will get through this in about an hour. But we'll go from there. First thing I want to do is I want to show you guys, I want to revisit basically the wood crasher that we worked on in week 1. Jen Falcon helped me point out there was an issue that I didn't finish up on, so we're going to do that this week. Basically, I'll show you guys what we forgot, or what I forgot to get rid of. I'm going to show you guys how to do it, because it wasn't as easy as just getting rid of a line or two and a couple pieces. So I'm going to walk you through. We're going to go through how to remove. We removed the crane arm last time. This time we're going to remove the crane claw. What we didn't appear in Giants Editor very well was the claw part that's actually buried down where the wood gets all ground up. So, yeah, I think the bots ran off the casino, you know, they take all the donation money and decide to skedaddle. Thanks for the follow. Alright, we're going to get into this right now. So, I want to show you guys where we left off the wood crasher in class number 1. So what I'm going to do is purchase that. I'm going to hop down to my trusty tractor down here and see what we got. I'm going to show you guys what happened. Okay. So after I purchased the wood crasher, I didn't realize that back here, there's the claw that I forgot to get rid of. There's that darn thing. Alright, no problem. So, my bad, and I'm going to show you guys how to fix it. So what I'm going to do is jump out of here.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
And I'm going to open Class 4A. In my Class 4A folder is the crasher where I left off with all these items. So let me see here. It's this one here. And basically you guys see we had the claw grab, claw 2, and collision claw 1. Okay. So long story short, we are going to get rid of those. Oh gosh, I'm not getting... Yeah, Twitch is tough today. I don't know what happened. They had a crash or something along the way, and they crashed pretty hard, and we might have jumped in a little early, but we'll try to roll with it. And these will, at least Dave's map making and my mod class here, will be up on YouTube as well, and I'll throw the addresses up there so you guys can get it in case there's still technical difficulties. I don't know what's going Okay, sound is working. Cool. Alright. So, what I'm going to show you guys is here it is in here. There's a piece, and I apologize for not grabbing it in the first class, but it's buried in there, as you see. They really decided to hide that. It was the end of the crane, so I give them that. It's my bad. So, what we're going to do is get rid of this guy here. Take note of the index path. He's 1 greater than. That's it. He is in the main transform group. This guy is 1, this guy is 2, and next one is 3 greater than. So all these guys that are referencing the collision for the grab, the claw 1, and claw 2, we're getting rid of them. They are history. Bye. See you later. So long. Okay, all those are going. I am saving that. So it's not, that's the first step in the process. So we got rid of the last pieces of the claw. The collision, the claw, everything else. So we should be good to go. I'm going to close this up. You guys see we just have wood crash and a light. Light's fine. It's not going to hurt anybody. So I'm going to save that. Now, that's the first step of the process. Second step is I'm going to go into my vehicle XML, which is labeled Crasher. There it is. Okay, now, like I already said earlier, there were 3 things we need to remember. It was 1 greater than, 2 greater than, and 3 greater than. So what we need to do is just make sure that we get rid of any items relating to that in your vehicle XML, otherwise we'll get in there. So this is going to be my first attempt. If I miss one, I miss one. Not a biggie. The log, again, is going to tell us what we did wrong, right, etc. So first thing as I'm moving along here, I start at the top, work my way through. Easy thing is to do is to find, just go 1 greater than, bam. Okay, there's the first item that needs to be removed. So as I search, it's 1 greater than, it's telling me the component joint index, anchor actor, you know, and all that good jazz. This is telling me the rotation speed, acceleration, all these good things that relate to this moving index, which we need to get rid of. Otherwise, it's going to try to call the information, and when it tries to call it, it's going to give us a Lua error. It's going to tell me which index it is, which is going to be 1 greater than 0. So at this point, I need to strike this out. As I've shown you in the first class, to strike it out, we do an exclamation point, dash, dash. Okay. Now once we start one, we also need to finish one. So as opposed to doing each line, striking it out, I know this line, as well as this line, as well as this line, are all relating back to that claw in one form or the other, due to the fact of it is 1 greater than. So long story short, 1 greater than 0 was the first level down underneath 1 greater than. So forth and so on, you get the idea. So what I need to do is, this is the last line I want to strike out. So I'll get rid of this line as well. There we go. We now ended it. So you'll see that, notice that the moving tools is now legit. So from here to here, we technically could get rid of the whole thing. But if I ever want to add anything back in, the moving tools lines, beginning and end, are already there. So me personally, I'm going to leave them in for now. I just wanted to show you what I changed from the last one, which is striking out this line, and this line for the 1 greater than. Okay? So I'm going to keep moving along here, and I will make sure to get my next line here. I'm trying to see if my AnkBot's actually going to work, but it doesn't look like it, so we'll keep moving along. So the next items that I need to move along to will be down here. I'm going to keep scrolling along. Now if I do a search, find, 1 greater than, find next. Okay, this one's already out because we did it with the 0 greater than 9. Not a problem. Moving along. Again, 0 greater than 9. Reference point was that claw part. Down here as well, the claw base. This was already struck out prior. So I'm not sure, you know, you could just have it as a reference. You know, you could put notes in. Long story short, this is telling you this, like, he just puts notes to himself, telling you which part is which. So if you're ever interested in saying, oh, I don't know what part is the claw, well, here's claw 1, 2, and 3, just like you referenced in the i3D file in Giants. So I will help you out with this part as well. So there's component counts. In the Giants header, you notice we had component 1, which is the main wood crasher. Component 2 was the claw part 1. Component 3 was claw part 2. component 4 was claw part 3. So, now knowing that we eliminated each piece of this claw, all 3, we need to strike them out and get rid of them as well. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strike these out. You can get rid of them, absolutely, but me personally, this is safe. Because if anything ever goes awry, I know what I did. I really wish I could change the color, so color code who struck out, which line. Unfortunately, I don't think you can. I think it's pretty much this is standard. So what I need to do is get rid of component 2, 3, and 4, is strike these guys out. So again, their history. Now, as you notice, we had 4 original components, component 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're down to 1 component. What we need to make sure to update as well is this components count. So I'm going to make this now 1. We just have a wood crasher. We have no claws, and any claw pieces that go along with it. Nothing, so we're good to go. This is going to be it. Next step, again, is go back over to my trusty find box. Still 1 greater than. Let's move along. So we're going down here. This was also struck out during our class A of 1, which basically stated when we struck out the 0 greater than 9. So he's already taken care of. We're moving along. Again, here it is, joint components. So all it's telling you is this is how it joins the pieces of our claw. We have the left, we have the right. So in other words, claw 1, claw 2, and the main collision part of the claw. This is telling me how they're joining them together. So you're taking component 1, attach to component 2. You're taking component 1 again and attach it to component 3. So what I need to do is get rid of these guys because they're referencing our index again. So what I'm going to do is get rid of these guys as well. Go exclamation point, dash, dash. Now, what I'm going to do is also get rid of these guys, so go dash, dash as well. Again, we go down here to collision pair. It is, again, referencing 0 and 1, 0 and 2, 0, 3, 2 and 3. So what I'm telling you is, for component 1, which is 0, what it is the main wood crasher. We don't need a collision pair now that we got rid of the items that were colliding per se, that made a pair. The 0 was referencing the wood crasher. The 1 is referencing what would be the first part of the claw. Again, the second line here is 0, the wood crasher. Part 2 would have been the second part of the claw. Again, go on to the third one, it's 0 and 3, which is basically the wood crasher, and the final third part of the claw. And this is referencing the 2 claw hands, so the left and the right. So what I'm going to do is get rid of these guys as well. These need to go bye-bye because they're no longer in, and they'll do nothing but throw an error for me. Okay, so I'm getting close to the bottom of my list. And we'll see what we got here. Okay, we're down to a collision pair. Now, the last thing normally in a vehicle XML is the schema, which basically, when you would, the schema overlay, this to explain to anybody that's not sure, this tells me when we're attached to a vehicle. So basically, when you attach to something, it's going to pop up with this little itty bitty icon. This is referencing to the in-game schema. Basically, it is telling you when it's selected and so forth and so on. But I'll point it out to you guys when we do that as well. So what I'm doing, I am happy with our results. We should be clear and free of now not only the crane from our previous video number 1, we're also going to be clear of now the claw. So what I'm going to do is just show you guys the way I normally do things here is what I'll do just for a safe bet is I'll do a copy. Oops, my bad. We're going to do a copy. We're going to do a paste. And what I'm going to do is just leave that as is. That's fine. Call copy. So what I'm going to do is delete these items out of here. There's many ways to skin a cat. This is, do it however you like. This is how I personally do it. To put these files back in the crasher.zip. Is I delete out the original, and then I dump them back into this zip file. So what I'm going to do is take my trusty crasher, hit, and do a copy. Go back to my desktop, hit class mod test. There's the original where I showed you in game that had the claw on the ground that we need to get rid of. So I'm going to paste this, copy and replace, hit the X, and fire up our trusty farming simulator game and see how it goes. See how I did here. Hopefully got it on the first try, but things happen. So if I got it wrong, we will get it right. So again, I missed this in the first video, and I appreciate Jen Falcon for catching and helping me out. And I didn't realize because I used it in an existing game, and as I'm looking around it, I was in the middle of the woods and didn't see it was dragging behind the claw part. So I did find it, once I did buy one. So that's good. So we didn't get any errors. What I should have done, which I'll do right now, is to show you guys, is it's there. Okay. And we're going to go over here, and there is no more claw. So, just to show you that I have no errors in the log, I apologize. I bought one prior, and it loads up with a game. Another thing is, if you bought it prior to fixing it, and you brought it up in the game, if there's an error, it'll pop up in your log, and you actually will not be able to load your game. So, good, Jen Falcon. I'm glad, buddy. Again, I apologize that it was there, but we got it all squared away now. And it's always one of those things, hit or miss, and it's just take your time. Take your time, go through it, and you're gonna make mistakes along the way. I can't tell you how many I made, but eventually I get to the point that I'll get it. Just got to keep cracking along. And there's many times I just started over. So I bought my wood crasher, came in, hit the tilde key. As my buddy Stale Popcorn called it and helped me out with that. Next to the 1, you see my game log is free of errors. And we have a wood crasher in. That does not have this annoying crane arm or the claw around it anymore. One thing I want to make sure is just hook it up. I want to make sure it functions. Make sure I didn't delete one extra item too many. So we go, we hooked up, make sure this guy works, arms go out, good, pipe goes out, there's that, and it turns on. And there's still no errors in our log. So we are golden. This is now fixed. I will put this fixed version up for download as well for all you guys that don't want to attempt it, but don't like the crane or the claw, and I'll make sure you guys get that. So basically, that covers part 1 of tonight's class, or just basically go through and show you guys how it's done. So we're good. I'm happy with this. We are golden. So that's part 1. Part 2 is basically I want to go and show you guys something neat. You can add this to any map. You can add it to Pleasant Valley. You can add it to any map that you play, and you can personalize it. I want you guys to start personalizing your maps and having fun with it, and not be scared of a mod, because this, I think, is a good mod to start with, and understanding of how to edit items. So in part 4B here of this class, what I did was called the crane. I got the crane controls. Whoops, let me go back to that a sec. Did I still leave the crane controls in? I apologize if I did. Let me see. I'll open this back up and find out. Got the crane controls. Okay, if I have the crane control, that's not a problem. I'll show you guys how to fix that as well. That'd be a little change there in the input binding. Not a problem. So let's see what we got. I'm going to go back to here.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
I will hop in my trusty tractor and go from there. Sizey, thanks for the follow. And also Screen Banshee, thanks for the follow. Okay, so if I had the crane control this, no problem at all. I like that fix. You're right, let's see here. Go out, turn on a wood crasher. Okay, not a problem. So they are still there, just in case. That shouldn't be a problem at all. I'll go back to my trusty class 4A. Go into my mod description here. Let me pull that up. And let's see here. Well, okay. 110 function crasher. Okay, well, it's not listed there, so let's see here. Let's go back to my wood crasher. Let's see here. There they are. Mouse controls. So,
Welcome.
let me
to
get rid of
Fantasy
this
Island.
guy. Boom, bang, bang. And this should do it if I remember correctly. And I'm glad this happens because that way you guys get to see how to fix these little things that I do. Now, I'm assuming that's going to be 100% correct, but the best way to do it is to test it out. So we're going to do that right now. Load up our trusty farming game. Toecat, thanks for the follow. We're going to boom this guy up and see if we got rid of our mouse controls, which is what the crane is, so should be good to go now. Thanks for that catch, Jen Falcon. Much appreciated. And we'll see what we got. Should be the wood crasher, hopefully without our crane controls now, and it should be spick and span and good to go. So load that up, hop in our trusty tractor. Always go to my front end loader, and that thing is slower than snot, and must have bought that more recent than this New Holland tractor here. We'll go back up to her. Boom. Okay. Feed out. Oh, I still got the mouse controls in there for some odd reason. Alright, I'll have to see what that is about. Must not have got rid of another line in there somehow. Let's see here what we got. Boom, boom, boom. Did I forget? Oops. Wonder what that... Did I do the wrong one here? I must have done the wrong one. I apologize. Huh. That should have been it. Let's see here. Let's try this one more time. I got so many files open here. And, you know, I probably did the wrong one. It's funny is, one thing I learned, I should be a little more neat about when I do these things. I tell you what, I go a little crazy when I get files open on top of files on top of files. And if I don't pay attention to where they're coming from or going to, it gets real nasty quick. And eventually I just delete the folders and start over. There's many times I spent hours on mods and trying to fix them, and I get so knee deep into them, and I realize, you know what, it's just easier if I start over. So we're going to try this one more time, get rid of the mouse controls, and cross our fingers, that should get rid of it as far as I know. But we should be golden. So we should have a wood crasher without the crane, without the claw, and hopefully without the actual claw mouse controls. So let's see here. There's that. Hop out here one more time. Hop over. And we'll connect to this bad boy here one more time. And like I said, this finished mod I will put up as well. Yep, she is history. Thanks for the catch, Jen Falcon. As Jen Falcon caught, you guys noticed down below the 0 or the O key. You say pipe out, mouse controls. No more. She is history. She is now considered done. So she's good. I will double test that here. Pipe out. We'll turn her on. I'm hitting my mouse buttons as you see, and it will not let me select the crane. It is done. So I'm going to put the finish stamp on this guy. If there's one more thing, I might show you one more thing on this while we're in it, just to show you guys. For anybody that has downloaded the mod or worked with the wood crashers, one thing you guys notice is this is a 19.6 megabyte file. Two words. Way, 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 way. Okay, a lot of words. Overbloated with texture files. What do I mean by that? I'm going to show you guys what. So in the textures files, 9 times out of 10, why is a mod bloated? Why is it larger than what it needs to be? If you want to play around with something, if you need to worry about file size on a server, I know we like to, on our server, we try to keep everything slim and basically healthy. As far as I'm concerned, the smaller the file, the faster it'll load up. I want to show you what the problem is in here. So basically, I'm opening my 4A folder, go in my textures. First thing I'm going to notice is this is my texture file for my crasher. This one. And this one is just ridiculous. What is this? Now, what I mean by ridiculous, excellent. So I'm going to show you guys something here. If you notice when I click on a file, Down here is telling me the dimensions of the file. Now, as long as you don't have text on these graphic files, these are basically just laid out, and they get wrap the actual model itself. They're unwrapped right now. So when you load up the mod, they're going to load these graphic files to wrap around your model, make it look all nice and pretty. Key is, if it doesn't have text on it, it doesn't need to be this big. This is just way overkill. I mean, you're talking 32 bits depth, 2048 by 2048. It's just outrageous in my eyes. So I'm going to do just these two files as an example. You guys get the idea. If it doesn't have text in, scale it down. Here's how you go about it. We're going to highlight these two files, open them with our trusty paint.net program. Mine is default there, but if not, don't worry about it. Just open paint.net, open these files. We need to do this. We're going to go to image, we're going to go to resize. Here it is. This is telling you this graphic file size is just mind-blowing at the size of it. So you can do two things. You can take it down to half, or you can even do more than that. So I'm doing more than that. I'm just doing 512 by 512. Now, you saw the old file size. You see the new file size. This is when I'm talking about bloating. And I'll hit OK. Look, it might not be as sharp. It might not be as fancy, but it'll look just about darn near the same. You know, the detail, it's color. I mean, come on. There's no text. You're good. You don't need to have the biggest graphic file around. If it had text on it, a little bit tougher to resize because it'll start getting blurry and distorted. This, don't have to worry about it. Again, I'm going to do this. And look, here's your size. I mean, look, if I even want to go half, I'll knock it down to, I think, approximately 8 megabytes. It goes down to 4 even more. But I'm pushing it. I want to go even further. You could probably go further with this. This is just me getting it to a place where I'm not as bitter as to why the file is so humongous. And I click Save, export it as my DXT3, and I'm golden. I'm good to go. So again, now look at this file size, guys. Look at this, 682 down from what it was, which is redunculous. So this will help change your file size dramatically. Anything that doesn't have text. Again, here's more items. Look at these guys. Here, just for instance, I selected 3 files. 8 megabytes of just looking pretty little wood crasher. Doesn't need to be that way. You know, it doesn't. We don't need that monstrous graphic file. You know, this guy's 128 by 128. All he is the cover up on the front. He doesn't need to be anything at all. I mean, he'd be even smaller, but 128 it's 10 kilobytes, so it's nothing. So that was another little tidbit I wanted to show you guys before we move on to 4B. So there's the inside. You can do this with all your mods, guys. Combines. There's a Dude's Harvester out there. The thing is gorgeous. The text is not on the texture files, so shrink them down. I mean, I think it was a 60-some megabyte Dude's Harvester, and I got it down under 30. I mean, it might even be less than that now. It goes down to, you really don't need that size of a graphic file. You know, it's overkill. You know, if it has writing in it, yeah, definitely. But all right, so we're gonna move on to 4B now. I want this to be everybody's. I like to see these on Pleasant Valley or splattered all over your map. I think it's something cool. I think it's something you're gonna all like. So what this is the billboard. This is a placeable billboard. Yes, you can do that in the files for the map as well, as long as it doesn't have text on it. Dave is actually, we and Dave work really closely when doing, before we release the version 2.0 map, we're going to go through and basically lean up, make it the map as small as possible, but it's still as nice as possible. Get rid of any extra files. So yes, you can do that with your map files as well. As far as graphic textures goes, as far as text goes, you got to be careful again. So I know Dave does a really good job with that as well. There's items in the map, just to give you guys an idea, like the potato sack, the sugar beet sack, the sugar cane sacks at the factories. Just to give you an idea, they were humongous. They were massive at one time, and that's one thing we're improving on, is getting down the size of the graphic file. You know, we want the map to run good for everybody. Really, you know, we're doing our best to make sure everything works good. and nothing's over bloated. So yes, you can do it with a map. Just be careful what you do. You know, if it's texture files, you're golden. If it's texture files with text, careful. Save the original somewhere, and you got to play with it. You're gonna just adjust a little bit at a time if it has text in it, and you'll get to the point where it'll start blurring up on you, and then that's basically your stopping point. So the next one here is the billboard. This is for all you guys out there that want to get your feet wet into modding. This would be a great place to start of personalizing it for Pleasant Valley. So what this is, in the end, is basically this. I'll show you guys. I'll blow it up. It's basically a placeable billboard. So the problem here is we need an image. So I'm going to show you how to grab an image from somewhere and how we're going to scale it down in Paint.net and make it so it appears in your own personal farm. So whether it's Thernadad's farm, KW's farm, Jen Falcon's farm, you guys name it, I want you to personalize it. I'd really like some really cool billboards. I think it'd be a neat touch to your own personalized farm. If you want to do like a vodka one or a snacks one, whatever suits your flavor. I'm going to show you how to accomplish that today. So what I did was I took the trusty FS15 World Billboard.zip that I have under Class 4B, the download exclamation class mods. So what I'm going to do is I extruded that to here. Here's all the files extracted. So what I'm going to need to do, I'll show you what it looks like in Giant Set Editor right now quick. Just so you guys know, I'll take my time. I'm going to show you the before and the after. Okay, so in case you're ever wondering, Dave actually showed me this hint. I click on a billboard. Problem is I don't see the billboard here. So what I'm going to do is hit F on the keyboard. What that means is focus. I hit F, billboard pops up. So here's the problem. There's where it's telling me to put my billboard picture. Well, that's cool, but I need a picture, so that's not a problem. I supplied one as well. So we're going to show you how to put that in here. So what I'm going to do is basically, okay, I just want to see how this is done. Okay, so this is done a little bit differently, which is not a problem. Sorry guys, this is my first time going through this file, so we're going to try to get this all squared away. So if I open my billboard diffuse.dds, oops, if I lose you guys too, oh, sorry, the bot's on vacation, my apologies. It's some reason AnkBot's acting up. Let me see if I can get him started again. I'm not sure what his dealio is, but if I happen to lose you guys, I apologize. I'm losing power at my house. We're going through a pretty good sized thunderstorm here, and AnkBot's still not working for some odd reason. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it is just like Donald Trump. Poor guy. Hey, he might be I would actually vote for him, for Donald Trump. But you can also get the mod. I'll get you guys the link here. I apologize for some reason. AnkBot's on vacay, so. Give me 2 seconds here while I pull up the class mod 4 folder. Okay, I'm working on getting you guys the link. Oops. Alright guys, here we go. There is the link for the billboard. So that way you can follow along and do your own and get it all fancy like, and like to see the end product for what you guys come up with. I always excited and like to see what everybody else comes up with. It's always a good time. So, call your union rep. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, darn AnkBot strike. They're in that robot union, and it's tough to break those guys. But what I'm going to do is continue on here. So, what we did was open a billboard diffuse.dds file. This guy did a really nice job. He basically tells us, all right, this gray area here is where our picture needs to be. So what I'm going to also do is click my trusty open button, open along the farming header.dds file that I included with that as well. There it is. So all I want to do is get it over there. I'm going to do edit, select all, do edit, copy. Now what I highly recommend, you can just hit paste the way it is. Okay. Boom, there it is. Not a problem. But if you go in, you do command this and that, and you hit something, and there it is, harder to resize, that I found out. So the way I do it is I'll show you guys, hit edit, paste in a new layer. What it'll do is create a new layer down here. So if I accidentally click off this guy, oh, it's not the end of the world. I will be able to select him back. Just like so. And scale him and so forth and so on. So I can then move him and do what I need to with him. So let me go back to the way it was. There it is originally. And all I'm going to do is take this corner, and we're going to try to get him as close as possible. He might overlap the corner a little bit, which is fine. And I'll click and drag that point, basically as a pull point, and down to here. Okay, that looks pretty darn good. Sorry I didn't have anything nicer, but it's just quick threw this together to help you guys out. Once this is done, I'll click my trusty save button. Click on save. Billboard diffuse.ddx. Now this one I need to save in DXT3 file. How do I know that? Because this guy was nice enough to write a little tutorial here. It says readme. Right here saying save with DXT3 file. Not a problem. So that's what I'm going to do. Follow his instructions. Save. Yes, it already exists. I want to replace it. DXT3. Make sure that's clicked. Cluster fit. Perceptual, as well as generate bitmaps are all checked. Hit OK. Now what's this saying here is flatten. What the problem is with DDS files, and that I found out, is that I have two layers. What it needs to do is combine the two layers. So I hit flatten, and you'll see that it combines the two layers, and now it's one. There's no more separation of the image versus the billboard template, which is fine. So it's saved. I'll just hit save again for good measures. Come back to my trusty desktop. There's my mod. Now I want to test it before I bring it into the game. Go to Billboard. Again, I hope this all works out. I haven't personally used this mod, but I would like to see it out there on what you guys got. Boom, there it is. So there's our Billboard in Giants Editor showing the Farming Simulator logo. A little dull. Me personally, I think it could use some lights, but I'm not going to fiddle-faddle with that right now. I'll leave it be. So what I'll do is that looks good. I'm not going to save it. I just move my camera and go around. That was all. Again, one more time for save measures. Copy, paste, save in my original. Go down here, delete all these files that were in the original file. Basically go back one more time, highlight all my files, minus the zip file. That's where it's all going. You can't put the zip file inside the zip file. It has a conniption, so no problem. Okay, there's that. That's good to go. So we're going to try it out. Fingers crossed. I haven't used this one at all, so I'm hoping it works. If not, hey, we'll see if we can fix it. Leave our trusty crasher in there. That's part of 4A and 4B, and we'll load up our Farming Simulator game. See how it turns out. And that way, hopefully you guys can, like I said, put that in your own maps, do your own billboards, whatever you like, and add something cool to it. Make it your own. I think that'd be neat. I know Dave's doing a contest. Heck, throw a billboard in one of your pictures you shoot up for the contest. I think it'd be a really cool thing. You never know, maybe you could win. Alright, so I'm going to go to purchase. We now have Placeables, which is where our billboard's located under. And boom, there's our billboard 01. Click on that. I'm going to see how close it'll let me place it down here to the store. So when I buy a vehicle, I can toggle into it and see a trusty billboard. Boom, there it is. Now let's go into one of my cars down near there. Okay, of course I keep going to that front end loader, and there it is, guys. Here's your billboard. Now let's look for errors. Error free. That is awesome. I think it looks pretty sharp. Unfortunately, I didn't do any personalization to it, but that's how you do a placeable billboard. Pretty straightforward. If you want to add one more level to this, customizing, I will show you guys how to do it. So we're done in Giants in the game for now, And we're going to go back to paint.net for one more thing. In case you guys are ever wondering, we'll go to 4B. Here's the store billboard. So what happened was, this is what appears when you go to buy the icon. If you do a couple different billboards, you're not going to sure, which one to buy, unless you read it. And who wants to read? I'd rather look at a picture. So what we're going to do is go one step further. I'm going to open my recent. I'm going to open my billboard diffuse. There it is. Or another way of doing it is do File, Open. You guys see what I'm doing here. There's many ways to skin this cat. Do Edit, Select All. Do Edit, Copy. Come over here to our store icon. Yeah, it does look dark. I agree. I think it needs to have some lights in there. We might have to put some lights in ourselves here, which is no biggie. And then we're going to keep our canvas size because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Basically, so when it appears in the store now, I will get this close because look, it's not going to be 100% perfect there. So, okay, that looks cool. So that way when it's in the store, that's how it's going to appear. So that's good. I'll do is copy this over to original file. Yes, copy and replace. I agree with you. Let's see what it's doing about darkness. I could probably just quickly add some lights here. Let's see what we got. Again, for some reason, it stays all the way out there. Good. Okay. See, it has all these fake lights. They don't have really lights built in, I believe. So what I'm going to do is just let's play around. Let's see how we get this going here. Billboard. Let's go this. Whoa! What a difference. That's awesome. So here, I'm going to put it in the main transform group, just like that. I think that's much, 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 much better. True, I could definitely do that as well, Viper. No doubt, man. I could lighten up that pick. I like the little bit darker pick. I can add an extra light in here as well, but no doubt. I'm not the. You can add a little shadowness, but let's see what we got here. I mean, that looks pretty darn cool. If I want the true angle of it, but it's got to be in front of the lights, otherwise you get the shadow. You see what the shadow is here, reflecting the lights onto the billboard. So if I actually believe if I move this, let me see here. See, that's why if I face it down and have it close enough, you'll never tell. How do you change the mod description? Why not sure what you mean. How do you want to change the mod description? In what sense? As far as changing the mod description, let me know how you want to change the mod description, whether it's the name, whether it's the billboard. For instance, if you want to rename this now, go to mod description. Okay, so if I want to name this billboard FS15, I believe that's what you're in reference to. I could be wrong, but in the mod description you'll see how it's referenced the store billboard, the brand name. Fine, I'm not taking no credit for this guy's mod. This guy did a cool job. It's really fun. A little bit of function here, it tells you about it, the price, upkeep, etc. The XML, the vehicle XML, in this sense, it's a billboard.xml. So I will change that for now. So that way it's called billboard FS15, and I'll leave it like that. So that way in the store. Right, to change name, yep, that's exactly what I just did. So if you want to change the name here, if I want to name it, heck, I could even name it, whatever. FS15 billboard, if I can spell, there. That's exactly what we're doing, so I'll save that. That looks good. And again, I'm just going to copy, overwrite the file in there, so tell me it's already there. Again, copy, and then go back to, again, I always have a test folder. Why? Because if I put this in my Pleasant Valley folder or my games folder or another testing mod folder, I now have to look through a huge log file as opposed to something tiny and something specific. For instance, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So if I go to my trusty log file, log.txt, look how nice and short that is. If I have any issues, man, I should be able to find it. Where if I load up Pleasant Valley or any other game that I have a lot of mods in, it's going to be much, much, much harder to find. So don't make your life harder than what it is. That's the way I look at it. You know, keep it simple. That's the way I operate. I mean, you gotta, you know, concentrate on one item at a time. You know, if you look at your log list with all your mods loaded up, let me tell you something. It would be scary ugly if there's errors in there. It's tough to tell where to start. You know, so that's why if you do one at a time and add that mod in one at a time into your game, I guarantee your game's going to run awesome. You know, if you have mods that have errors in it, you might not see it right away. With the problems and the slowness and the crashing and the losing save games, the list can go on and on. So the best thing is to test each mod that you use one at a time. You know, that's what Dave and I strive ourselves on, an error-free log. It's always like a, you know, me and him always look back and forth at each other's work and help each other out. We complement each other well. And the fact that if I have a mod that has an error in it, he helps me pinpoint it, and vice versa. If there's a problem with the map, you know, we try to work together as a cohesive unit. But as you guys see in the store now, there's our nice little store image, looking all cool with our Farming Sim 15, and it's named FS15 Billboard. Double click on it. Fingers crossed it's a little bit brighter, but we shall see. If it's not, I'll do like Viper said and just adjust the brightness in there. But boom, there it is. Let's see how it turns out. Yes, I test every single mod that way, and all the ones in Pleasant Valley, or I don't want to admit it, but yeah, they've been all tested that way. That looks a little better, but yeah, I definitely agree. It could use some adjustment and choose bright. Yes, definitely the brightness and contrast to lighten up the pick. That's a darker pick, no doubt. So the light didn't really have that much effect on it. So what I'll do is I'll go back in here. And let's try adjusting it one more time. It looks good in the store. It's just actually in-game. So, adjustments, brightness and contrast. Let's see what we got. See, what I'm worried about is, yeah, it'll adjust all the other items. So, it's not a problem. If anything, I have to redo the graphics file here to be a little bit brighter. So, what I'll do is I'll open my trusty farming header. Can you just install it in a map with using store? Let me see here. Yes, you can install them in the map as opposed to using the store. No doubt about it. I'm not sure offhand how to do that. I know Dave is more keen on how to take a placeable and put it in a map. I'm not too savvy. I'll be honest with you, I'm not too savvy when it comes to the map stuff. You know, maybe that's something I can mention to Dave doing a class on how to make a placeable into putting it in the Giants as an actual item. I personally am not that up to snuff with the map stuff. To be honest with you, Dave, that's Dave's cup of tea. He's really good at that. I'm more of the mod type of guy, but yeah, we can definitely adjust the brightness, you know, and the contrast, and it'll make a big difference there. But so I'll fiddle with this here and got a little bit brighter. So let's see what we got. Yeah, you could possibly import them into G. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to speak and, you know, be wrong. I don't want to tell you guys something wrong. So, but if KW says it, then I definitely entrust him. You know, I'm sure he knows. I really haven't fiddle-faddled with the maps end of it. But there it is. As you guys can tell, it is definitely a little bit brighter. So all I'll do is just click and drag it over. Now you can use the original file as well. That way you don't stack up images over images. It'll get your file really large. There you go. Yeah, Dave said he could show you. I'm sure it'd be a quick class because he's on top of that stuff. So, all right. So we don't want to save that. And all I'll do is click and drag this and update that file. Now, one more time, we'll bring it in. If it's not brighter, I'll have to look at it a little more, guys, because like I said, I haven't used this one at all. This is my first time using this mod. So, hey, Big Chris Farm, how's it going, man? So what I'm going to do is jump in here, and we'll put our trusty billboard in and see how it turns out. See if it's any better or any worse. It could be the way I have it facing the sun or not, too. Who knows? I mean, there's many variables in here. I just got lazy because I jump in a vehicle and I can look straight up and see my billboard. But like I said, I think it'd be cool if if we saw this in some of the pictures you guys submit for a version 2, just for some snapshots there. I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, it still looks really, really, well, not really dark, but it looks darker than what it should be. So that's not a problem, I believe. Let me see here. Might be a little better. Let me try, see if I can rotate my sign here a little bit, left and right. Bah, 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 bah. There we go. We'll do one face in this one, and I have a one-sided billboard, but I don't know what they're thinking there. Why not just do it double-sided? But sorry, it's all good. Hey, you know what? I'm just glad somebody created this mod. That looks a little better. Now, let me just my curiosity here. Yeah, it doesn't look so bad at all. That looks pretty darn good. I'm impressed. So that's cool. It's almost like a TV. Has like a tube feature to it, some depth. That's cool though. It's alright. I think it'd be needed for this double-sided, but we'll save that for another class there. But again, just double check our log. Tells me it's error free by hitting the tilde key, and we should be good to go there. So I think Alan Boss, thanks for the follow, man, and hopefully you guys get your crashers fixed. Let me know how it goes. If there's something I missed, please feel free to shoot me a message on the forums. You know, I appreciate any feedback. If this was helpful, if it wasn't helpful, you know, no problem. I hope somebody can find some benefit from it. But like I said, now you're at least the crasher version 1 is without air, so no crane arm, no claw, you know, no claw dragging on the ground behind the crasher here. Just to show you guys one more time, it's gone. She's history for sure. Showed you how to create some billboards. Please go to it. You know, make something neat. You know, send me a pic. I'd love to see some pics, some good billboards up there. Maybe some action that you're on the farm, a brand, whether it's Case, New Holland, John Deere, whoever, etc. You know, create a neat little billboard, throw it on your farm, shoot some pics up on the forums. You know, anything like that. It's really cool. It's always neat to see some good stuff like that. So that's it for tonight, guys. I ended 5 minutes. I'm about 5 minutes earlier than I wanted to be, so that worked out well. Thanks, FS 2015 fan. Much appreciated, man. I appreciate all feedback. You know, hopefully not too crazy and not too fast. But like I said, I will put the video up on YouTube as well. There'll be 2 separate ones. Basically, one covering the second part of the wood crasher, and then one covering the billboards. So that's it. You know, if you like the class, great. I appreciate it, guys. If there's any questions, I'll stick around for about 4 minutes here. We have, and you know, I'll answer the questions. If not, we'll see you Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dave will be doing his map making class, followed up by our PV15 version 2.0 preview, which is hopefully winding down. And won't be doing too many more of the version 2.0 previews, and moving on to the next guy, shall we say. Thanks, Jen Falcon, much appreciated. But I think that's it for tonight, guys. I won't have you staring at that screen or at my disorganized or organized desktop there. And thanks for stopping by. And we'll see you guys Friday, 7 p.m. for a map making class, Eastern Standard Time. Take care.